Before I start the video, I would like to address the fact that I only joined the community in April of 2021, and only became a prominent member around late 2021. This means that a lot of things Michael has done will sadly not be in this video, as there is no way to find it out. Pretty concerning how almost a year of things Michael has done likely won't ever come out to the public. Chapter 1, BPF vs Imperium War. The BPF vs Imperium War is an example of how dirty Michael will play to win a war. Michael had broken an insane amount of rules, most of them he made himself. This war, and practically every battle at Fort Lucian, was terrible. The spawn camping done by the Imperium and Michael is insane, not to mention the fact that the raiders got a box as their spawn, making it even easier to spawn camp. Michael had also changed the time the battle would take place, even though he and Frozen, owner of the BPF, had already agreed on the battle the day before. Michael even stated that no one can stop him from changing the time. The problem with this is that Frozen, and most other BPF members are from Australia, while Michael is from Britain and most of his members are from the United States. Michael used this for his advantage. He purposely forced Frozen into agreeing times for battles that were in the morning for them. Michael did this because he had a lot less soldiers than Frozen, and he knew that less soldiers would show up if it was in the morning. He also knew that it would give him more time to prepare his soldiers, while Frozen basically couldn't. Michael also counted a battle that Frozen wasn't even involved in as a quote-unquote victory. Michael also admin abused during the battle he considered a victory. If this really was a battle, then those would be illegal commands, making it a victory for the BPF. Michael even taunted Frozen by stating, "Should have been in the raid, but beautiful commands were used." Michael used illegal commands in battle for his advantage. He would teleport his soldiers to him, so they could continue spawn camping. He also gave some of his soldiers fly commands. There even is a screenshot of Russian Gregors, Michael's right-hand man, giving himself an rebounds per game. Not only that, but Michael's plan to win the war is one of the shadiest things he's done in war. He made an alliance with Frozen, asking him to fight against the mysterious resistance with him. For multiple weeks Frozen thought it was a legitimate alliance. But then, when Michael told Frozen that there would be a battle against the mysterious resistance, Frozen showed up, and then Michael teamed Frozen and his army onto the raiders' side, forcing them to participate in a battle they didn't even agree on. Michael even stated that he got everyone confused, and that it was a part of his plan. Another small thing to add is that Michael refused to fight in Moscow because the game was supposedly broken. In reality, the game was not broken, and if it was, Michael could revert it back. Michael likely refused to fight at Moscow because it was harder to spawn camp on the raiders' side in Moscow than at Fort Lucian. Michael had also banned some of Frozen's soldiers that had a high number of kills during the battle. Michael's response to Frozen's evidence was one of the worst responses I have ever seen. He refused to talk about 80% of the proof Frozen showed. He even admitted a lot of the stuff, like how he did spawn camp. Chapter 2, The Frost vs Mysterious War is one. I'm going to be honest, Arthur definitely did things wrong in the wars he faced with Michael. But I will only be talking about Michael's actions, as they are much more extreme than Arthur using a nuke during a battle once. The Frost vs Mysterious Wars, also called the FVMs, were wars started by Michael because he didn't like the fact that the Mysterious Empire was the strongest group within the community. Michael forced Arthur to accept the war, starting one of the first wars ever in the community, the first FVM. Michael obviously won the war, as the Mysterious Empire was not about war, but instead about Bloxburg roleplay. Michael forcing 4 different wars down Arthur's throat is the main reason why the community is incredibly inactive now compared to the summer of 2020. Michael forced a community that was about role-playing in Bloxburg to fight wars. This led a lot of people to quit the community. But now on to some of the things Michael has done to Arthur in these wars. I'd like to first start off with how Michael straight up lied about all of the victories he supposedly achieved during these wars. He said that he won over 60 battles against Arthur. Anyone who knows Arthur knows that Arthur will give up after 3 battles. That's why all of those wars were only a couple weeks long. Not only that, but almost every supposed victory Michael achieved during the wars have never once been recorded. There have been 0 screenshots, 0 photos, of the supposed 60 battles that Michael started against Arthur. Michael also leaked the state that Arthur lives in. Amy, one of the community founders, owner of Apollo, and former HR of the Mysterious Empire, has stated that Michael leaked Arthur's state. According to Amy, he also leaked Frozen's face, which relates back to Chapter 1. Chris, a higher rank for Michael, has managed to give himself admin the Mysterious Castle game, and admin abuse in Arthur's own game. Michael still hasn't told Chris to stop at all. Michael also forced Arthur to stop communicating with Amy or else he would start another war with him. Chapter 3, Officer Monarchy vs Imperium. Now this is something I know everything about, as I own the Officer Monarchy. The conflict started after Arthur's surrender in the Imperial Succession War. There was a man named Wilf. He scared Bobby and Arthur so hard that they surrendered. He had military experience in groups with over 100,000 members. Even Michael was afraid of him. Back in the day, during Frost vs Mysterious Wars, Michael had somewhat of a cold war against him. They were insanely close to war, but nothing really happened in the end. But Michael was still afraid of Wilf, even after Wilf joined the Imperium side during the Imperial Succession War. Wilf asked to be a general in my group, which I accepted because I knew he had great military experience. This made Michael accuse me of being a spy, even though Wilf was on Michael's side during the war. Michael started an investigation on me, where in the end he found 0 information proving I was a spy. I even showed him all my DMs with Wilf. And he called me a spy because of this one image. If you can't find out what's so wrong about the image, that's because there is nothing. Because I edited a typo that I made, Michael considered me a spy, and kicked me out of the Imperium. The time that I was kicked out of the Imperium, but wasn't in war with Michael, made me realize how rude he actually is. There were various times where I came up to him, nicely, and he responded with insults, talking about how I am a fat American or something, which this will correspond to in the next chapter. Michael continued to refuse to allow me to give any information to help prove I wasn't a spy. He also refused to give any information about the investigation as well. Later, I stated in my group wall that I was going to make some changes to avoid war. These changes were stuff like to stop insulting Imperium members, etc. Michael took this as a sign of war, which makes literally 0 sense. He threatened to declare war on me. A couple days later, at his inspection, he officially declared war on me. I will not be going over the invasion stuff, because even though he broke various community rules, it will just be extra information that really doesn't relate to this video. After he declared war on me, he got Serpent to create propaganda for the Imperium. Most of this propaganda was blatant harassment. And anyone who's seen the videos can admit that as well. During the battles we had in this war, he would commonly ban people and use illegal commands during battle. Like the time where he banned someone who joined because he was losing, then he later banned me for confronting him about it. Not only this, in another battle he said to win you would have to get into the Kremlin. But he blocked off the border door, making it impossible to get into the Kremlin without glitching, which would be breaking community rules. Michael had also lied about various victories. He would sometimes randomly mark up a victory for him in his group when no battles had taken place. He wouldn't even explain how he got that victory as well. There is a lot more things that Michael has done during this war, but this chapter would be so long if I actually included all that stuff. So I am now going to go over the big stuff, the Michael hiring people to break the Roblox toes to get revenge on me stuff. Michael originally hired Arch to spy on me. The plan was to get Arch to destroy the training grounds with virus scripts, which is a violation of the Roblox toes. Sadly, this isn't even the first time the Imperium has done stuff like this. Aaron has inserted virus into the Clue family border, and Chris has done the same to Arthur's castle game. In the end, I found out about Arch being a spy, but they weren't over. They then hired Caesar to try to destroy the game. It may have been Arch who hired Caesar, I still really don't know because this just happened. This time, it actually worked. On March 12th, the Imperium had been planning a surprise attack with Arch and Bobby. When I joined the game, they all were breaking community war rules, by breaking the grace period. They constantly didn't listen to any of the community rules, even Russian Gregor said that he broke rules. This should have been an automatic victory for the officer, but instead I decided to kick the people breaking the rules, which keep in mind were only Imperium members, none of Arch's or Bobby's members. Then I finally started the battle, and after a while Arch surrendered. After the battle Caesar was told to destroy the training grounds and the border game, and their plan succeeded. They purposely broke Roblox toes by inserting virus scripts. They risked Caesar's account being terminated because they wanted revenge. I was able to restore both games in a couple minutes, but it shows that Michael is willing to break Roblox rules for an online war. Chapter 4, Racism, Doxxing. Michael owns a Discord alt account called Epic Times. On this account he said the N-word twice and various anti-Semitic things. There are 3 reasons why I believe this account has to be Michael's. Number 1, the British dialect. The account would commonly say stuff like chap and lad, which no other Imperium members talks like that besides Michael. Number 2, anti-American. The account commonly said stuff like Americans are fat, and other stuff, which is something only one Imperium member says publicly, Michael. Number 3, image of the former Imperium flag. When Bloxy and I were spamming the officer flag, the alt account started spamming the Imperium flag. The thing is that the Imperium flag was the perfect proportions as the Group 1. And there wasn't enough time for the account to open Roblox and randomly take a picture of it, so who else would randomly have a perfect proportion of the Imperium flag? That's right, Michael. Michael's HRs would commonly say various jokes relating to the thing that happened to a certain race in a certain war. The main person was Chris. He owned a Discord account called Redolf, which I think everyone knows who that account is based off of. He would say various anti-Semitic things on this account, with Player, and other Imperium HR, commonly helping make jokes about that. Player also changed his Discord account to be as Joseph Stalin, and made jokes relating to that. There was so much spam that Amy had to kick all of Chris's alts from the HR server. Now, onto the part of Michael leaking information. Michael has leaked information of various people, such as Robert, Amy, Frozen, Arthur, Steve, and various other people. Michael helped leak Robert's state and his email, where they then decided to spam that information everywhere. Michael managed to find Amy's old YouTube channel from 4 years ago, where they then leaked a couple pictures of Amy's face. Only problem is that the pictures were from 4 years ago. According to Amy, Michael had also leaked Frozen's face, and as said in Chapter 2, Arthur's state. Michael also managed to find Steve, or also known as General, face, where he then decided to post that in a couple different Discord servers. Then, Michael complains about Robert leaking their information in retaliation, like Michael hasn't been doing the exact same since 2020. Chapter 5, Tubers Drama. During the 4th Annual Community Honor Awards, hosted by Bloxburg 5 News, there was an exploiter named Tubers. The account was obviously based on the famous Roblox exploiter, Tubers93. Everyone was told a day before that there was some guy named Tubers that was going to exploit. No one believed it, not even I. Then, when the day came, Tubers destroyed the game, kicking people, placing random messages, setting everything on fire, etc. Even though I hate the Imperium, I honestly think this was too far. Later, Tubers managed to steal the models the Imperium had at Fort Luslian, which was a major blow to the Imperium, as they were some of the best military models in the community. The reason I am adding this is because of what Michael did. Michael and Chris launched an investigation, which seems way too familiar. In the end, they declared that Tubers was Amy. The problem is that they gave zero evidence that she actually was the exploiter, just like another time where they started an investigation on someone. They kicked Amy from the Imperium, slandered her name, made a video full of lies and propaganda, leaked information about her family, face, and her house, declared war on her, and banned all of her members from the Imperium. Besides the leaking of information, this seems quite fair if she actually was Tubers. The problem was that she wasn't. They knew this too. After they got so much backlash, Michael told his news channel, Imperial State News, to make a list of reasons. This is one of the most childish things ever. One of the reasons she was accused of being tubers was that she was sus and that she liked Greek craft. Not to mention they deleted my comment defending Amy and disproving all of their points. So I shall do it here. She only had a history of treason because she was an HR for the mysterious resistance. Of course she would protect the main group she's in. Michael stated that you don't need your group to be under imperialism. Of course she wants peace. She was in this community when Michael wasn't starting wars every 2 seconds. Of course she wants to be independent. They gave no proof that she deleted the age kicker. Tubers were against the Imperium, of course they would target the Imperium. Must have had access recently, don't know what that even proves at all. For number 9, that still doesn't prove anything at all. Number 10 doesn't prove anything at all. Almost every Imperium member can too, such as Chris, who is famous for using alts and exploiting. That proves nothing, as anyone with a brain hates Chris. Gave no proof of her being nervous. I gave a weak punishment because she didn't interfere with the war. You would know that if you actually had spies in the Discord like you said. That doesn't prove anything at all. Gave no proof about that. That doesn't prove anything at all. That doesn't prove anything at all. Never could have given hints because she wasn't my spy. Simply put it, Michael doxed Amy over things that weren't even true. Chapter 6, The End. Remember, I only joined this community in 2021, and only found most of this information this last month. If anyone such as Frozen or Arthur has more information, I urge you to reveal it publicly. Michael cannot get away with all the things he has caused. If you want to help out, share this video with your friends, and with people who support the Imperium.